Internet, Eric here. Time for my Sunday vlog. Don't really have too much to talk to, except I'm actually going to focus on, last night I went to another wrestling event done by North American Pro Wrestling. And if you've never heard of them, and they are a small indie fed that I went to a show that they had a couple months ago in Genoa. And last night was their Rumble in Rochelle. And I had a fucking blast, dude. I had a blast in Genoa. Genoa was fun. It was actually my first ever wrestling event. And last night was even better. Front row seats. It was in a ballroom. And I'm going to just slowly discuss some of the things that I really enjoyed. And the thing about independent pro wrestling is it's really cool. You really see them putting in a lot of effort to get their names out, because they're not on national TV, and they're obviously doing this, for the love of the business, not just the money. They love their fans and stuff like that. I have in front of me the match listing, because since this is my second show, I don't know too much of the characters, so I want to at least get their names right when I do discuss the certain matches I want to discuss. Yeah, and it had a little bit of everything. There was a good, no disqualification match, which I'll talk about, a good main event. They had some of the wacky characters that you only see on the independents. Fun all around, lots of fan interaction. It was really, really good. They had a story with certain characters from beginning to end, from the beginning of the show to the end of the show. And like I said, it was just flat out fun. It started out with a tag team match, and it was just a stereotypical tag team match, but it was cool because we were introduced to one team was Bulletproof. He was just a regular guy in a singlet. And the French Cactus. Now, the French Cactus to me was literally just a comedy wrestler. He came out in a t-shirt that looked like a tuxedo, and he luchador mask, but he had a cactus on his face. And what I loved about the French Cactus, other than, every time you say the French Cactus you laugh, I loved how he was a typical heel. Heel means bad guy. And he would play to the crowd. He was taking fans' popcorn bags from them and eating it while he was in the corner, while his opponents and his tag team partner Bulletproof was in the match wrestling, and their opponents were called the Top Guns, and it was cool because they came out to the theme song of Top Gun, Kenny Loggins' Danger Zone, and they were in masks and they were wearing the Air Force uniform. And like I said, it was a stereotypical tag match, which was fun, but I had a blast just watching the French Cactus. And of course, French Cactus and Bulletproof lose. As they lost, French Cactus literally ran to the hot dog stand, grabbed 2 hot dogs, and left in the back room. Like that was his compensation for losing the match. So it was fun. I mean, like I said, a lot of this stuff is not just serious wrestling. It's done in fun. Another one I wanted to talk about was, I guess, like I said, I don't really know a lot of the storylines, but there's a wrestler named TJ Steele, and he's carrying around a briefcase that apparently is kind of like the Money in the Bank briefcase from WWE, where he can cash in a contract for a world title shot, or I don't know if it's just a heavyweight title. But he did that, and he cashed in on the current champion, which is DOJ. And DOJ was at the last show, and he was fantastic. And it was a surprise title change, really well done. We had a couple spears, hits with the briefcase, and we had a new heavyweight champion. So that set up a lot of match changes that were going on through the card, and that reminded me of like old ECW shows, because the ECW shows changed on a dime like that, and lots of times you went thinking you're going to see one thing and you didn't get it, but you still got a great show. So that threw a lot of what we thought we were going to see up in the air. Anthony Anatelli versus Nate Quest. Now these guys wrestled last time, I believe, in Genoa when I saw them, and it was an okay match. Here was so much better. The crowd was more into it. The moves were really good. What I liked about Nate Quest, he was the villain, and he was the typical jerk. Like, he thought he was the best, and he would tell the fans he was the best. And what I loved is when we were front row, so he was like walking all the way around us, and he was telling the fans to clap at him. And there was one fan, maybe 4 or 5 seats to our right, and he literally got into his face and he said, "Clap, clap," you know, yelling and screaming at him, and then just kind of shrugged his shoulder like it was nothing. Decent match, fun. I really like that heel jerk character. We had, before that, we had we had, like I said, I mentioned the goofy type characters. We had Ricky the Janitor fight, was it Punisher 747. And Ricky the Janitor, who I think was actually the French Cactus, because they looked like they had matching tattoos, on the chest, because Ricky the Janitor's shirt was ripped off when he was getting slapped. But again, Ricky the Janitor, literally, he's just a janitor. He comes to the ring with a push broom, and he was yelling at the fans. He was, hitting hats off of guys' heads and calling them jerks and stuff like that. Again, fun, heel, douchey character, and I loved it. And sadly, it looked like he got legitimately injured. They were having problems with the ring. And I don't know if it was due to the ring or if he just stepped on it wrong and he twisted his knee. But props to him, he ended up being pretty injured. He finished the match. He lost, but it was still good. Fun all around. Like I said, I love these little jerk characters. Ricky the Janitor was good. Nate Quest was good. French Cactus. Then, after that, we have my favorite match of the night. Now, this was Joey Rose. And Joey Rose is, I think he's actually the owner of NAPW. I don't know if that's known like in his character, but he was supposed to fight TJ Steele. Well, TJ Steele won the title, and he wasn't going to give Joey Rose a title match. So I guess they brought out the Outlaw J. Cross, who I have no idea who he is. But they said this was a no-holds-barred match. Now this, like I said, was the match of the night. We were front row, and they went all around the building. They literally went up the stairs behind us into like the balcony area. They were hitting each other with chairs. So it was just like ECW, where the fans in the front row couldn't see anything, but the fans in the back row who couldn't see anything in the beginning of the show got a whole perfect view. And they're slamming each other on the floor. They're hitting each other with garbage cans. Joey Rose had a garbage can put on his head, and it was super kicked off of him. He was put in a chair, like sat down in a chair, clotheslined off of it. Joey Rose was thrown down the stairs. It was great. So much fun. Everything was used. Such a good, fun fight. Extreme. Not like blood and guts or anything, but it was still fun, edge of your seat, and highly the highlight of the night for match wise. I love this match. So much fun. I was screaming so much. Joey got the win. Fantastic. After that, we had Jack Carpenter, who literally is a man. He comes out dressed as a carpenter. And he fought over Colin Smith, some guy I've never heard of. And they put on a decent match for what they could do, because what happened was, halfway through the match, like I said, they were having ring problems. The top rope broke. So they had to improvise doing what they could do to still put on a good match and deal with a broken ring rope, because obviously they can't jump off the top rope anymore. They can't get thrown to the ropes. But you know what? A good finish. It's a little bit of comedy, because what did I say his name is? Jack Carpenter is a comedic wrestler. He was there last time I saw him in Genoa. He had, the crowd was calling him Bob the Builder, and he played to that, and it was really good. It was a really good way for him to get the fans interacting, because he would yell at them when they were calling Bob the Builder. So again, so much fun. And then we had the main event, which was the new champion TJ Steele versus Grin. All right, I'm gonna turn my phone off now. Get that out of my face. Now Grin. Grin is a character. He was painted up like a jack-o'-lantern, I guess, and he's got this big mohawk. and he comes out with this raspy voice, and you know I love how he waves to the crowd like this, like he's just being psychotic, and he's facing TJ Steele, and what happens is they put on a great match. Of course, DOJ comes out because he was beaten for the belt. Gets TJ Steele disqualified because he's beating up on Grin, because they were supposed to fight. DOJ and Grin were supposed to fight until TJ Steele cashed in, and eventually DOJ and TJ Steele gang up on Grin. They're going to get a table because the whole night we were promised a tables match between originally TJ Steele and Joey Rose. But again, due to that title match, or that title change, everything got thrown up in the air. But we still got a great, like I said, no disqualification match from Joey Rose. So as they're setting up the table to throw Grin through it, because like the fans have been chanting we want tables all night when we found out we weren't going to get a tables match. Out comes Joey Rose, makes the save, everyone gets beat up, and then what happens? This is like the perfect way to end the night. Joey Rose and Grin do a 3D, which is also known as the Dudley Death Drop. Search it on YouTube. Dudley Boys 3D through a table. They lift up TJ Steele. They bring him down through the table. That damn thing explodes everywhere. And I'm right there front row, and I'm cheering my ass off. And it's a perfect way to end a fun night. And I survived the Rumble in Rochelle. They made me a fan last time I was there in Genoa. They continue to make me a fan in Rochelle. And I hope they come back to the area. My reason for saying this is support independent wrestling, because, like I said, I think they put in a lot more effort because they don't have the flashy lights. They don't have, the big Titantron music videos. They put a lot more effort into their match, into their storytelling, into their fan interaction, and they just want everybody to have a good time. And I think there's 200 people there, roughly, and everyone was having a blast. I loved watching the little kids get into it, cheering for Joey Rose, booing TJ Steele, all of this. Such a good interaction with the fans. NAPW, you guys put on a great show. I hope to see you again. I'm going to tag a lot of you guys because I am friends with you on Facebook. Tag a lot of you guys so it could help get your name out. But yeah, support independent wrestling. And even if you're not a wrestling fan, even if you don't like, say, WWE or TNA, if you have a local independent wrestling federation in the area, give it a shot, because you never know, you might not like, because there were some talking here, but there wasn't a lot of focus on the microphone. A lot of the focus was in the ring with the storytelling, and if you're turned off, you're like my wife, she doesn't mind the wrestling when we watch Monday Night Raw, but she hates the talking. Well, if you go to a local independent wrestling show, you will most likely get less talking, more wrestling, and what more can you ask for? So yeah, that's my vlog for today. There wasn't really much else to talk about. I just got done seeing Batman v Superman. Probably won't review it because I've kind of been overkilled on superhero reviews. But anyway, I'm glad I was able to talk a lot longer, 13 minutes than I thought, because the wrestling card last night was just so much fun. I'm still pumped up about it, and yeah. So thank you for watching my my vlog. I'll be up with some more videos next week, or maybe a couple more in between this week. Like and subscribe. Tell your friends. I've gotten some new subscribers. Welcome. Harsh, thank you for subscribing. We'll do a video soon. But yeah, go support local wrestling. Cheers. I don't have any beer in front of me because, it's pretty early in the morning. Or afternoon. What is it? Oh, it's noon. But I got places to go later. But here's an old soda can. Cheers. Support your local independent wrestling federation. And today's Easter, so happy Easter if you celebrate Easter. I really don't, but I probably will celebrate by watching Critters 2, because a man in an Easter bunny suit gets eaten alive by the critters. But until then, thanks for watching my vlog, and I will see you next Sunday.